Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I have a 30-minute full body mobility routine for you. So this one covers basically all the important muscle groups, and yeah, if you want to work on your mobility, this is for you. I would recommend it 2 times a week and I hope you enjoy it. Okay, so all you're gonna need is a yoga block and a wall. This is all, we don't need any fancy equipment. I start from the top, so usually I start with the head. So I would just do some head circles and we just go for 10 times in each direction. Do some nice head rotations, especially when we're sitting a lot, but in general the head is, or the neck is usually quite tight. So let's just work on that for a few times. Do like 2 more reps on that side. And then change direction. With all those exercises you can just explore if one side feels different than the other. Also here, if one direction feels a bit more stiff or tight, it's always good to gain some more awareness of your body. And then later you can work on that one stiffer side a bit more. Okay, awesome. After we've done the head, I usually focus a bit on opening my shoulders, using my shoulder muscles and my thoracic spine. So what we do, we start by placing the toes, the knees, the chest and the hands on the wall. And now I want to slide down a tiny bit, but keeping those points connected, keeping the chest on the wall. And now instead of arching my lower back, I'm kind of tilting my lower back. So you see it a bit better like this maybe. So usually we're standing more like in an arched back position, but in here we want to avoid this arching back and tilt here. And we're going to hold here for like 30 seconds. So you want to keep breathing, and with every exhale, trying to tilt your lower back even more out of the arched back position. So instead of arching, we're tilting. And by doing that, we focus more on opening the upper spine instead of the lumbar spine, which is quite beneficial because this is usually quite tight. It also opens the shoulders, and we strengthen the muscles next to the spine as well. That helps us later to open. Yes, and when those 30 seconds are over, I come out, and for the next one I place my feet a bit further away from the wall, get my fingertips on the wall. My hips are roughly about my feet, chest on the wall, and I'm stretching here for 30 seconds again. Also here you can play around with tilting your lower back, arching, and maybe over those 30 seconds you slide your chest a bit deeper. You can see my fingertips are connected here. I'm not with my flat hands on the wall, but my fingertips, and stretching here. Keep breathing. Going for 30 seconds and maybe sliding a tiny bit deeper my chest to open my shoulders and my chest even more. Okay. Awesome. Good. And then I would go for a second round of those, in which maybe you can go a little bit deeper. So place the toes again, knees, chest, hands, and again sliding down, tilt. Activate those muscles next to your thoracic spine, the upper spine. It should be quite heavy, quite intense if you do it properly. And breathing here again. Staying for a few more seconds. Keep tilting the pelvis. And then slowly come out of that position again. And we go for a second time of that position where you're using your fingertips, feet a bit further away from the wall. Place my chest on the wall, straighten your legs, and slide your chest a bit deeper. And use that time to open your upper body while breathing and relaxing your nervous system. We don't want to hold the breath and send panic signals to the system, but keep breathing, we're in control here, so just open and breathe. Awesome, perfect. After I've done that, I focus a bit on opening my hamstrings. So what I do for that one is I'm standing again like in the same distance as before from the wall, and I'm rounding my spine now, going down, and I'm using the wall to give me some support in my back. I'm doing a forward fold, and now I'm trying to go down, maybe bend my knees a bit, slide my upper back a bit lower. Now I'm switching between bending my left and my right leg. So switching the position and straightening my hamstrings a bit. And the wall gives me a nice feedback because it gives me some pressure against my spine, so it's kind of rounded. And over the weeks, if I do it more often, I can go closer to the wall, and the wall gives me even better feedback. If it's not enough, I can always slide my back deeper and try to straighten my legs again and do some walks here and keep opening my hamstrings, which feels quite nice because you're supported by the wall, and you can in the same time work on your hamstring mobility, which is pretty tight for many people. And yeah, this is a good opener. Not too intense, but just enough to feel something in your back. And once you've done that for like 1 minute, we come out of that position and we start on the floor. So now we already want to go a bit more towards the lower body. So one of my favorite exercises here would be sitting against the wall, taking a yoga block, and I squeeze it in my hips somewhere here. This leg stays straight, my right leg. My left leg now is compressing the yoga block, so that's important. While compressing it, I'm trying to lift my foot for 10 times. So 1, 2, you see my body is already shaking here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So keep that compression here. 8, 9, and 10. And the last rep I hold here for a few more seconds. And imagine somebody wants to pull out the block here, but you won't let it happen because you're compressing here. And that way you're reaching that hip flexor muscle. And go down, rest. Switch legs. Squeeze it on the right leg. Important, put your lower back and your butt against the wall. If you're here, you can kind of cheat, but stay as close as possible. And we go for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and hold again here for a few seconds. Imagine somebody wants to pull out the block here, but you're still compressing, using your hip flexor to compress even harder, and slowly come out. After that, after I strengthen my hip flexors, I go now to lengthen my hip flexors. So that is by doing a couch stretch. Depending on how close you go to the wall, it gets harder. So maybe the first round I start a bit further off, somewhere here. And just by doing that, you should feel already that your leg is stretched, so your hip flexors are stretched. And I'm just staying here for a bit. You can always make it more intense by tilting your pelvis again. So instead of arching the lower back, I'm tilting it again. So I bring my belly button in, my ribs in. By doing that, I lengthen that hip flexor muscle even more. Yeah. So I stay here for, again, like 30 seconds or so. Keep breathing. And I try to get an awareness of this muscle that I strengthened before in that exercise. Now I want to open it by tilting my pelvis and making it even longer. Staying upright with my upper body Then slowly coming out and switch sides. Again, check your body. Is my right side or my left side feeling different, a bit more tight? Yeah, just get some more awareness of your body. And tilt your pelvis here. Keep tilting, keep breathing. Get your ribs in a tiny bit. And lengthen that hip flexor muscle. Especially when we're sitting a lot, this is very tight. So yeah, this is one of the areas I would like to work on most, because if this is tight, it affects the whole body basically. So it's always good to keep stretching that and strengthening that muscle. I come out of the stretch and we go for a second round of those exercises. So you take your yoga block again, place your butt and your lower back on the wall, bend this leg, compress the yoga block and lift again for 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and hold again for a few seconds. So lift up, find your highest position, and this is something you can work on over the weeks to get your foot higher and straighten your leg more without losing that compression. So if I'm just here and straightening my leg, it doesn't work, but I need to compress and straighten the leg in the same time. Okay, short break, again, switch sides. And start again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And hold again. Compress, compress, compress. Yeah, if it's shaking, it's a good sign. That means you're working on your limit, your capacity, and it's gonna get stronger over time, I promise, if you do it regularly, consistently. And slowly come down. Shake it off. And let's go into our couch stretch again. Maybe, if you feel like this time a bit closer. So the closer you go again, the harder the stretch is. So if I set up closer to the wall even, we'll feel it even more. And again, keep breathing, stretching that muscle. Trying to tilt your pelvis. And if you want to make it even more intense, you think about like pressing your knee into the floor and push it forward. So that way you're activating this muscle even more. This is a nice activation in that lengthening position, in that end range. It gets you even stronger. So activate for a few seconds and then you let go again and stretch a bit more, open, and switch sides again. All right, here again. Keep breathing. Again, scan your sides. Is that one feeling different than the left side, or is it kind of the same? Just gather some information about your body. Don't judge it or something, just observe. That's all you have to do. And again, if you want, press down your knee and push it forward a bit to get some nice activation going in your hip flexors. Keep breathing. And then once you activate it a bit, you can lean back a tiny bit more again and lengthen that position again. Sweet. Okay, we slowly come out here. Shake it off. And now I take the mat a bit more into the sun here. And after we did some hamstring mobility and some hip flexor activation and flexibility, I then usually go to like something I call, or we call the pissing dog position. So would set up in a kneeling position, put one leg out. This foot should be next to my hip basically, and I want to lift it up. And this activates this gluteus medius muscle, this side butt muscle here. I want to lift it up, hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, rest. And again, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest, and up, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Shake it off, and then we switch sides. Other side, and lift, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sometimes it starts cramping in here even. Just shake it off a bit and go again. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest. And last time on that side. Up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Shake it off. Now that we strengthen that part, the side butt muscle, let's go to this frog position. So we set up with an external rotation in the hips and in the feet, so feet are pointing out. Now I can place my elbows in front of me. And what I want to do now is activating the inside of my legs. So I'm pulling together my knees basically, and that way I'm activating those adductors, those inside leg muscles. And I want to activate here and pull together for 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, a bit harder, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, now as hard as you can, 2, 1, and I let go. So I strengthen those muscles again, now I lengthen them. Maybe I'm pulling my legs out a tiny bit more into this frog position, see if I can find more depth. And I just hang out here a bit. I can move my hips a bit, I don't have to be completely still here, but yeah, keep it moving, keep some movement in your hips. And then we go for a second round. So pull together again for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. And again, if you can slide out your knees a bit more, do it. Not just stay here in that end position and move around a few times again. And slowly come out. Okay, and we shake it off again. And go for a second round of those kissing dog moves. So place your hands again, there's one foot next to you, and lift again, activate your side butt muscle for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And last time. Up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch sides. Okay, and again. Up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest. And up, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And one last time, lift, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And rest. I'm already sweating, even though people say my mobility training is not super hard, but it's quite hard if you do it properly. You'll be sweating as well, I guess, if that's intense for you. And we set up in that frog position again. Again, finding your end range of motion. And in that end range of motion, we pull together the knees again, activating the adductors for 10, 9, a bit harder, keep pushing harder, 7, 6, 5, and now as hard as you can, pull together. Should be almost shaking your legs. 3, 2, 1, and rest, and let your knees go a bit more outside again. Shake your hips around, move your hips a bit. See if you can find some more space in your hip joints even. And let's go for round number 2. So squeeze again, pull together your knees, activate the adductors even harder. 5 more seconds, 5, 4, as hard as you can, 3, 2, 1, and relax again. Maybe move out again a bit, find your deepest position here and start moving around. Keep breathing. Yeah, this breathing is super important because we want the body to relax. It's a bit different than like normal strength training, which we can really push hard. But here also we push hard, but we have to relax the nervous system as well. Otherwise it's going to go to a panic mode and it's going to get even tighter or tighten up. So we have to work with the body. And yeah, once we activate in this end position enough, many times, it will let us allow to go a bit deeper and deeper in those positions. Stay a few more seconds here and slowly come out. Okay, awesome. After I activated all those parts, I would usually go to a pancake stretch. So pancake is kind of a mixed position of like a front split and middle split, which I'm sitting with legs open. And I try to fold forward like a pancake, basically. That's why it's called a pancake, I guess. And you can either elevate your hips. If you're sitting super rounded like this, it makes sense to elevate maybe even higher. I have one yoga block now, so for me, I think it's fine. But yeah, if you need higher elevation, take some higher elevation. It usually makes sense to elevate yourself so you can tilt your pelvis instead of rounding your back. So you want to round forward like that and first find a sitting position. Okay. We're activating the hip flexors again, but now in an open position and with straight legs. So what we're doing here is we're placing the feet, the hands on the floor, pointing the toe, locking the knee. I want to lift up here again. I go for 10 times. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. Last one I hold again for a few seconds. Try to hold it, keep your body upright. Don't round your lower back. And rest. And then we go to the other side. Lift up here. Again for 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. Hold again. A few seconds. If it's shaking, it's good. Working hard, keeping your legs straight, don't bend it. And come down. After I've activated those, I do some ballistic stretches. So I'm doing some bounces basically to one side. So I would start on my left that I started with. And I'm bouncing here for a few times. Trying to use my hamstring flexibility, using my hip flexors to bounce a bit deeper. Like every bounce, try to go a bit deeper and trying to connect my belly button to my leg. Not so much my chest, but I try to close this gap here and bouncing a bit more into that pancake position on one side. Then I hold it for a few seconds here. And move to the other side. Do some bounces here. So, bounce. You can alternate between flexing and pointing your toes. Usually if you flex your toes, it targets a bit more of your calf area, which is also nice and quite tight usually. Even though you're bouncing, keep breathing and try to lengthen and strengthen your hip flexors and hamstrings in the same time. And then hold again. Let yourself sink deeper in that position. Slowly come out. And we want to, if you can, place your forearms on the floor in front of you and try to sink as deep as you can. Yeah, so usually if you're just starting that, you might start up here somewhere. This is totally fine. And then over the weeks, month, you want to walk yourself a bit more forward until your forearms can touch the floor. Then later your chest will touch the floor and so on. But just find a position that's comfortable for you. For my intention, I'm trying to externally rotate my feet a bit, so I'm turning them out. And I imagine pulling my legs into my hip sockets. So I'm pulling my legs into my hip, and that maybe allows me to bend forward even more. Keep breathing here. Then I come up again and I start with the lifts one more time. We go for second round. So we lift 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and hold. Activate, keep straightening your knee, lock your knee, point your toes, and switch sides. Other side, up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and hold again. Activate. Straighten your legs, point your toes, up, 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 and rest. And then we go for bounces one more time. So bounce down, trying to place my belly button on my leg, trying to close that gap here, sliding forward and backward, doing those nice dynamic stretches. In my experience, it makes sense to combine like different stretching methods, like passive, active, more dynamic stretches like this, ballistic stretches, and everybody is different, so you need different things. And usually a combination of those will open up your body. Just find what works, stay here for a bit, breathe, and change sides. Bouncing on the right. Keep sliding your legs, your hands forward. Also here, I imagine like pulling my leg into my hip socket, and maybe that allows me to go a bit deeper in that stretch. And lengthening those hamstrings, using my hip flexors to go deeper. Here, holding again, trying to lean as much as I can. And come up, shake it off a bit, and one more time, go to your pancake position. If you're sitting on an elevation, maybe you can now go to the floor, or if you're on a higher elevation, maybe you can just go a bit lower and keep your arms in front of you again, and see if you can like tilt your pelvis here more. So we don't want to sit arched back. It's super difficult in the beginning, but later you'll be able to find more rotation in your hips here that will eventually help you to get deeper into your pancake position. You can maybe even pull yourself a bit deeper by using your hands around your feet and just see what works for you, how deep you can come. Don't overstretch, so don't work against your system, but normally your system will allow you at some point to go deeper, and but we're not actively like just pulling us down and sending like panic pain signals to the system. But you want to work with your system, and then over the months and weeks, just go deeper and deeper. And the more time you spend in those positions, the more your body will allow you to go in those positions. Because it's like this concept, use it or lose it. If I don't use it for a long time, of course I lose it. And the more I do things, the better I get in it. So if the body is used to sitting a lot, it will be better in sitting and getting this hunched over back position. So if we never open the chest and open the legs and the hips, the body is efficient and will just stay in that position. But if we spend time in that pancake stretch here or in any mobility drill, enough time, your body will open up. Just stay a few more seconds in here, and then slowly coming up. Okay, shake out the legs. What I usually do to finish my session is like any kind of rotation. So in that case, I would go for this side stretch here, just placing my hand on the side and bringing my leg behind. And I get this nice rotation here. It's a shoulder opener, opening the chest, but in the same time rotating the spine, which is nice to also calm down the nervous system in the end of a session. And just keep breathing here. Hold it. You can also, depending on your shoulder mobility, change that arm position and move it more up. Here it's a bit more tight for me, so I will probably go here and rotate into that position and working with my breath. So with every exhale, I go a bit deeper until maybe my foot can touch the floor. And stay for a few more seconds. And then switch other side. Place your hand. This hand which is in front of you can also help you a bit to rotate you deeper in that position. Just find what works for you. And every exhale gives you a little bit more rotation in your spine and opens your shoulders, your chest. And just enjoy that last stretch. After you activated the whole body, we move the hand up again a bit. Stretch a few different angles of your shoulders maybe. And slowly come out. All right. And I feel already my body is much more open than before. It feels super nice because I activated all the important muscles. And yeah, if you do it consistently, I promise you, you will become much more flexible. And also your body is gonna ask for more of it because you feel like in the morning when you wake up, you're feeling so much more fresh. You're not in pain anymore because your joints and your muscles have more space to move around. So it really makes sense. And the longer you wait, the harder it gets to become flexible. So yeah, when I started 7 years ago, I had no idea how much it would add to my life quality. But yeah, it's really a no-brainer to invest time in that. Strength training is important, but also to become more mobile, more flexible is also super important. So yeah, I hope you can integrate this. Feel free to do that follow along, like I would say 2 or 3 times a week. It's a good amount. As always, you can always stop the video and do another round of those exercises if you feel like my hip flexors are extremely tight. I want to go one more round of those. Feel free to do that. Also, it's amazing to do 3 or 4 rounds of those. But yeah, if you have half an hour, I think this is like the best you can do for your body. All right, I hope you enjoyed it, and I see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. If it was fun for you, if you enjoy it, feel free to share, comment, subscribe, and see you next time. Bye-bye.